All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back to put a bow in our week here this Friday, March 10th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back. We got the markets tanking right now, so great to see all of us back inside the live trading room. Ray and Michael, Lewis included. We had Brian and Ron before. We had Chris and Chuck. We got all of us just joining us right now, otherwise inside our live trading room, and then all of us back on social media, all of our streams alike there. Great to have us all. So with that said, though, let's dig right into it. Markets have been plunging across the late morning, early afternoon. Just before, looked like it was going to begin to move up. Come on, we've seen this rodeo before, right? We've been there, done that. So it's a lower high, pulling back down. Perhaps there's a chance for this to make like a better squeeze in the final 15 minutes of the close, but I would just look to focus more on lower highs and continuation of the trend that you have. So, right now UVXY ETF moves inversely basically to how the indices move, and with that ended up leading to a nice pop early on. Actually making a bit of a pullback on the 1 minute chart right here, but otherwise we'll look to see if this can make a higher low and a move back up as this moves inversely to the market. So I'll put this on our main list at least to begin going into the afternoon. But of course, our focus this, not just this afternoon, this whole day, all the bank stocks, right? Between SIVB, which is not only still halted, they've actually, I think, shut down the company basically, right? California regulators ended up actually shutting down the entire company as a whole. So obviously big implications to the stock right there. And with that, between that, SIPACW, which is moving back on up. There you go, Mike. We'll go over all of those here in just a moment. I'm just going to write this down here to start. The UVXY ETF. Again, should the markets make a higher low, should the markets make a lower high, this will make a higher low and a move back up. Or if I'm wrong with that, then vice versa. We'll see. All right. So otherwise, actually, let's jump to the SIVB. I'm sorry. SIVB, this thing is still halted. Like I just said, California state regulator ended up shutting down the company as a whole. And I think the FDIC took over as well. That was basically the headline that came out across the afternoon. So obviously, we haven't been able to trade this. But we have the SI stock, which was, more of a dud than anything. This thing dropped off and we weren't able to short it. So, had a little squeeze in pre-market, but that was that. Now that leads me to a couple of the other trades. I think we had FCR, FRC, one of those ones out there. First Republic Bank ended up making this crazy drop and squeeze back up. It looks like it's trying to eke back up right now. Mike, perhaps with PACW. So I ended up just getting stopped out, break even. This is my second trade on this on the afternoon. So I'm looking for a short, and I ended up getting some money just before this meeting started on the first half of a position. I jumped back in, Mike, from 1340. I'll bring up Bookmap for this trade, but there's a couple of levels that I want to follow going into the close for this. And if this thing tanks right now without me, I will be pretty pissed. So let me try and finish up this meeting fast. But with that in mind, though, big level here, 86,000 share print got filled off of 1346. That was at the time 1:15 Eastern. So you can see it's been holding that pretty nicely. Just before, though, I was looking for a lower high right from here, 1318. It ended up popping above it. It pulled back under it, and I was looking for a nice pullback here at this stage going into the meeting. So at that point, I ended up getting stopped out, and then from there, right? Hey, right now going into the close, it's still kind of within this range, and it's still just extremely tradable in terms of the volatility. And for the PACW in particular, not the others really as much, but this one, it does have a good spread. Order book is kind of thin, but it's tradable. It's what you want to see right now. Ron said there is a tremendous amount of stocks hitting a 52-week low. Well, market's dropping off pretty nicely. So, we'll go over some shorts alongside the PACW here potentially. We'll put this one in particular on our list. Michael B says right below him, SoFi CEO buys 180,000. All right, we'll take a look at that if it's moving well. But, hey, PACB is a short. We'll see if this could hold under, if not 1346. Then otherwise, 1318, if it breaks back under and holds under 1318 here, and I hope it doesn't happen while I'm yapping here, but if it ends up breaking back below this could lead to a new pullback, nice drop off going into the close. I think we had the WAL stock as well. This could be another bank stock too, if I'm not mistaken. Fausto had called this one out earlier today too, more from the morning session, but ended up making a lower low afterwards, as you could see. This one's just much more illiquid, much thinner volume out there. You got one share here, one share there. It's not even a contract. Those are actual just shares. So, goes to show that there's like really no big money being traded on this stock. So I'm not too particular about this one right now, but at least PACW. I wrote PACB. PACW, that one. All right, let's go from top to bottom, though, otherwise. Let's see what else we can get here going into the close. UEDA. My dyslexia just tripped me up there. EUDA. There we go. And if you think that I joke around with that, that's not the case. All right, EUDA ended up making a nice pop earlier this morning, but as you could see, flattened out, made the false break over the highs, and then now looking pretty ugly. So at the stage right now, not too good for this EUDA. UVIX, this basically is UVXY, just a different VIX ETF. So I'm not going to put them both on our list. One or the other is fine. CZU, nice pop on CZU earlier this morning. More of a nice trend, if anything, from the lows, pushed up towards 275 before pulling back, and then broke higher heading into the early afternoon. By 1 o'clock, topped off just over 3. So yeah, I mean, nice little short squeeze play this stock is, because if you look at the daily chart, this has just been the theme of the last month and a half ultimately. But all these different short squeezes of late, this thing fell from 180 all the way down. Hey, eventually it was going to make some sort of squeeze. We always say don't hold your breath waiting for it over time, but ended up making just a fraction of the run that it made for us back in July, August last year. So again, it's a huge success. Right now, though, it's doing the dump off part, dropping off, much like typical short squeezes do. Ooh, this is looking good. All right, UNCY. I mean, basically all week we've been following this thing, and mainly with good reason. Maybe one day it was a tease, but otherwise, from this morning, ended up providing a very similar trend off the lows. Very nice trend. Much like the CZU trade. But as you can see now, revving back up, breaking back above big volume level, roughly off 265, 266 there. Look to see it kind of retest that a few times coming up. I don't know if I'm fully convinced on it running higher now, but definitely off to a good start. We'll see if this can keep going. Lewis has a good short for me. I'll take a look in just a moment. Lewis, looking at the chat board as we go through, and then Phil picking up some money. There we go, Phil, one of our longtime students here. He's been here as long as I've been employed with Fausto. He's gotten 29 cents on this trade. I think it was an options call, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I can't tell. Maybe. Either way, fantastic catch from Phil. He says no. Oh, okay. So he got it. Oh, the time he wrote. The time, Phil. My apologies. He got in at 6:22. The price, 1:15 Eastern. The time. There we go, Phil. Excellent. Nice. All right. Let's keep it going. See what else we got here. Nice trade on the UNCY though. JFBR. Oof, look at the PACW go. It's definitely making a nice squeeze. It popped over my level there, 1346. It's trying to make the better pop now, which is good. Nice trade. JFBR ended up making a nice pop earlier this morning. Ended up just flattening out though. So passing there. Going to pass probably on a lot of different trades from the gainer side, right? Market still hasn't made like a local higher high yet. It's actually building a higher low pretty nicely, but technically hasn't broken the last local peak from 2 o'clock. HYFM, it's at the highs. It's only trading 1.2 million shares right now. It's so slow though, right? I mean, you want to have a little activity there, if anything. So just because it's at the highs, I'm not really that particular about it. Same with RLX. You could say the same thing. Trying to go to sleep, RLX is the stock for you. LABD, nice pop, another ETF though. We already got the UVXY on there. This ended up having more of a nice late morning run though. LABD, is this the bearish version or the bullish? Bearish, yeah. All right, so you're gonna get a bunch of different inverse or bearish ETFs just on the loser side here, or on the gainer side right now. VIXY, VXX, 2 more right there. Don't need them. TZA, same thing. Just trying to weed those out right now as I kind of finish up the gainer side. AMAM, so this one from earlier this week ended up popping up pretty nicely. It was a great swing trade. Right now, though, not really doing too much. Again, not going to find a whole lot here, folks. I got to cross my T's, dot my I's. I got to do my job. So I know I'm not going to find a whole lot on the gainer side right now. Billy, hey, in the event where the markets make a really strong dead cat bounce going into the close, if that were to be the case, with as much as Billy is up right now, maybe that could benefit more from a stronger push. It's not far fetched, but definitely trading a low volume per minute compared to what we've normally seen the stock trade, especially from this morning. Like earlier this morning, the stock was trading on average roughly around 30 to 40,000 shares a minute. Right now, it's trading less than 9. So, past there. All right, that's it from the gainer side. No surprises, but we got UNCY at least and UVXY, the ETF. Let's go over to the loser side right now. You got Bird. It's actually shortable on my platform. A little too close to the ground level, though, for my liking. A little too close to the ground floor, right? If there's a stock below $5, that does not mean that you can't short it. I mean, if there's a broker that has specific restrictions, that's one thing. But otherwise, TradeStation or other major brokerages, you're going to be able to short some stocks, not all of them. So there's certain rules and implications with doing so. But hey, the closer it gets to zero, I'm not going to be as interested. So, it's actually provided a nice trade earlier, but for right now, though, I'm going to pass. The WAL passing on this, but I guess some of the bank stocks making that squeeze up, as I just kind of alluded to on PACW. Just broke up a little bit here, but really didn't do much afterwards. So if you're in from 13, it made for a good trade from that price, but otherwise, though, let me put a line at that other level I had referenced, that being 1346. That was the big selling level there. So, I'm going to look for a short if it could break back under this one now at this point. If it could break under more selling here at 1346, then there's definitely probable cause to take a short. Funny that I just said like probable cause, like I'm a police officer, right? All right, so we keep going. I'm watching a bunch of different cop videos on Facebook during my afternoon. That's how you know it's been a very fun day. All right. DocuSign. There we go, Lewis. And right in time. He says DocuSign if it falls below 50. If it falls below 50. And yeah, I mean, if it does, it could be a pretty good opportunity, but maybe not even today. Maybe like early next week, Monday, if it gaps lower and then it retraces up, or just breaks under come Monday morning, perhaps. But it's down big and it is at the lows, so I do like that right now. We'll see if this can end up pull back a little bit lower. The PACW trade ended up holding off pretty nicely off 1346 as support for right now. Moved back up there briefly. So again, only if it breaks back under that level will I look for that short. Otherwise, maybe try and take it from the next leg higher, maybe off of, I don't want to say 14, maybe even 15. This might have some room to go up, actually, perhaps now. If it's not going to break back under 1346, I could see a reason to have 15 or shortly under. All right, what else we got here, though, otherwise? Blue, Kaba. Nah, this thing's been on a nice run here from the end of last year. Jeez, I didn't realize that. I don't think we really traded that one as much. Sunrun, nice drop off from earlier today, but bottomed out a little bit. Not really down enough for me to look for that dead cat bounce like the others. All right, so let me know what you got here, folks, for me. If there's anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5% that you'd want me to look at, check out, or get my thoughts on, otherwise, let me know. I'm going to type my email address in the chat board early for all of us on social media, all of our streams there. I always like to post at the end of the streams. I did not yesterday. So, Josh at cttrading.com early. Just any questions that you got from me over the weekend. I do have to get back to a couple of us from our trading room, at least that had sent me over emails from yesterday. So, if you're tuning in and you didn't get a response back, I want you to know that I know that. I got to do my homework myself, get back to you later on tonight at least. But I always say keep the emails coming in, folks. All right, going to check out Benzinga Pro before we wrap up right now. SPY still hasn't broken that local high just yet. Again, PACW already on our list, but pulling back again. Be careful. It's all about that 1346 to me. What else do we have just that we haven't checked out yet? maybe like a GM, maybe a Shopify. Shopify, nice little move off the lows there. Don't get me wrong. Good sideless stock. I've always said good sideless stock Shopify is. Cruise lines like CCL, NCLH, just kind of stagnant right now. Those aren't looking as good there. Neo, obviously not looking too good itself. Sober from the gainer side of Benzinga Pro. Ooh, let me raise my volume criteria on this thing now. Geez, get some low volume stocks. How about Edible, EDBL? Had a crazy little move earlier, but dumping off now. LLAP, trying, but folks, I think we're scrapping the bottom of the barrel here, right? I don't really see too much out there that looks too thrilling or really for me to jump in on head first, right? So we got 4 stocks to work with, well, 3 stocks to work with, and 1 ETF. We got that UVXY, obviously, if the markets make, a pullback right now once more. Topped off right now, the SPY right here. You can see on the lower of my 5-minute chart on the bottom left. So just be careful about that. All right, folks. So otherwise, for all of us inside the live trading room, Rich will be on the mic taking you into the close from 3 to 4 p.m. I'm going to post my email here as well, josh@c2trading.com. Any questions, feel free to shoot me a quick email or send me over your trade journal, and I'll be sure to go over that at least on Saturday or Sunday. Coaching recordings I'll have out by tomorrow, and then otherwise I'll be in the chat up until 3:30 today, folks. So let me know if there's any questions via private chat. But enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch back with everyone otherwise on Monday. Take care.